Hey everyone, today we are going to be making these cute little beaded hoop earrings that can also be modified to make this necklace or this bracelet. For this project today, I'm going to be using 11/aught Miyuki Rocailles seed beads in this red luster color. You'll also need a pair of French hook ear wires and a couple of 3/4 inch diameter hoops. I'm going to be using this beige nylon thread that I've conditioned with beeswax. You'll also need a pair of scissors, a pair of needle nose pliers, and some super glue. I like to use nail glue because it has this nice handy brush applicator. I've got about an arm's length of thread threaded onto my big eye needle. I'm going to take one of my hoops and I'm going to thread the needle through the center of it. I'm going to leave just a couple inches for a tail and tie it into a double knot around my hoop. I'm going to pick up 2 of my beads and then I'm going to thread my needle back through the center of the hoop. Then I'm going to pass back through the last bead that I put on. I'm going to go down through the first bead and back up through the second bead again. Then I'm going to pick up another bead, go through the hoop, and then back up through that bead again. And again, we're going to pick up another bead, go through the hoop, and then back up through that same bead. Pick up a bead, through the hoop, and back through that same bead. And I'm going to continue adding single beads in that way until I have 30 beads around. And once I have the last bead added on, I'm going to thread my needle through the thread bridge between those last 2 beads. I'll pull it through until I have just a small loop of thread and then thread my needle back through that loop. That will make a little knot and I'm going to pull it nice and tight so that it can work its way inside of the bead. And I'm going to repeat that a second time so I can make sure that it's extra secure before we move on to the next row. Next, I'm going to pick up 1 bead and then thread my needle down through the second bead. Then I'm going to thread up through the 3rd bead. I'll pick up another bead and then thread down through the 4th bead. I'll thread up through the next bead, pick up a bead, and then down through the bead after that. And I'm going to keep adding beads in this way until I get all the way around our circle. And then once you've added the last bead to this row, you'll be back at the beginning where your tail thread is. And I'm going to go ahead and tie them in a double knot so I can secure them together. I'm going to snip off my longer thread to match the length of my shorter thread, and I will thread them both through my big eye needle. I'm going to thread back up through this bead on the very end, through the bead up top, and then down through the second bead from the end. Then I'm going to put a couple of dabs of super glue anywhere that tail thread was exposed. After that, I'll take my scissors and snip off any excess thread. I'm going to grab a French hook and open it up with my needle nose pliers, and then slide my hoop right on there in the gap between the beads. And after I close it right back up, my earring is completely finished. You just gotta do that one more time to get its mate. And there you have a very simple, fast, and easy beaded earring. And I've modified these steps to also make a necklace and a bracelet. So in order to make the necklace, you're going to need 32 beads around the circle, so that you'll have an extra space where your necklace strands are going to connect. And then for these little bracelet links, I've only put 14 beads per hoop, so that I can alter which side the beads are going to be on from link to link. And if you'd like to see how I apply this same concept to a set of square hoops, then keep your eyes peeled for my next video where I'll show you how to do that. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial and would like to see more like it, please be sure to give me a crumb of a like, a morsel of a subscribe, or a tasty tidbit of a comment. And if you really want to support this channel, you can go to my website, Xerelia.com, where I list all the jewelry featured here. And I have some bead kits and patterns on there too, so check it out. Okay, bye!